Kevin, welcome back to our decking series. Time for another episode.
Yeah, all right. Thank you for having me over again.
Boy, we've talked about a lot of things. You know, we talked about history, we talked about installation best practices, we've talked about fascia boards and so forth. Another one that I think a lot of times when people come walking in to plan a deck, they don't always think about is stairs.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes a deck doesn't have a set of stairs. Sometimes it's a very small set that it's not too involved. But a lot of times, you know, you could have 4, 5, 6 steps off one end of the deck. Sometimes it might be a deep, long set of stairs. So it sounded like there's some different things. It's not necessarily like how you built your deck. So could you talk about maybe the stair jacks or risers with respect to spacing? You know, the deck joists were spaced typically 16 on center, but it didn't seem like that's always the case for stairs.
No, and that's something you got to keep in mind. The stringers coming down from the rim joist, you have to add additional couple stringers in there. So really for a transcend product and 2x6, you need 12 inches on center.
Okay.
So you'd need a stringer every 12. And then you've got our new product, Trex Enhanced, which is still 1x6, but it has some scallops on the back, removes some products.
Okay.
And then we have a product that's Trex Select that is a 7/8 product. It's a little
board
thinner.
Slightly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So they require stringers every 9 inches on center. So you do have to know what product you're using and then refer back to the installation book to get those stringers correctly.
Okay. I'm thinking a lot of the other major manufacturers probably have similar situations going on.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one to grab your manual, take a look at. Because there's a lot of thought and effort and work that goes into building a set of stairs. So to build that all wrong and maybe get called out by a building inspector and have to rip it all out and start from scratch.
Well, the stairs can be a pretty focal point of a deck. You know, if you look at a deck and you have a nice, large, inviting stairs, because these deck surfaces are getting a lot bigger. Yeah. And actually, I've been to some decking projects where they wanted the stairs 12 feet apart and so many steps, and it was in order to do family photos. So there's a lot of thought that goes into the stairs on that side as far as design and all that other aspects. But when you're installing it, the requirement on stairs is different than a deck because the code requirement requires twice as much pounds per square feet on loads on a stairs.
Okay.
So typically stairs are different. Code process, and that's why you want to have those stringers tighter and where they're stronger.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
The other thing caught my eye in the install guide was fastening best practices. It looks like you can technically do a hidden fastener on stairs treads.
Yes.
But you better know what you're doing. So maybe you just kind of talk a little bit about that one.
Yeah, and that's kind of more common where you like the picture framing and stairs. I would encourage people just to face screw because I think those areas require that real tight connection. And I think the best connection you can get when you're fastening something is a screw into the surface, into the joist.
Okay. But it seems like a nice option and a strong option would be a color match fastener or a screw and plug system.
Yes, screw and plug system's great.
Because you're right, stair treads, they take a ton of abuse. Depending if you got a long length of stairs, that thing might be racking and moving a little bit. Hopefully not, but it's probably more so than your deck. And then even the perimeter of the deck, you know, it's gonna, like you mentioned, it's hanging over a little bit sometimes, so it's taking a little extra stress. So I like that option of a color match screw or a screw and plug system for sure.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. The other thing I just wanted to throw in here, just for the viewing audience, it takes some thought to do it right, is just those lowest railing posts.
Yeah.
Getting those fastened securely so they're stable and not just wobbling around. Because I think you could even get called out on an inspection if they were moving around. I think that the code inspector would probably say, do it again. So, you know, we can drop in a link to, because I know there's some great content that's been built out about how to make that lower tread super solid, have those things just be like rocks so they'll support either your railing or something like. So that's a great one. Yeah. When we were talking yesterday, you made a point about potentially ADA handrail requirements coming up as a requirement once in a while now, or more frequently at different municipalities in our area. Yeah. What does that mean?
Well, the ADA, and we've been selling a lot of ADA handrails, and that's where during my product knowledge meetings and all that, I would encourage people to always offer it to the contractor or homeowner if they sell a stair kit. So if you sell a stair kit, try to offer the ADA hand railing. And what that is the ADA, it's the American Disability Act, and it's our signature top rail, or our signature railing, aluminum railing, meets that code 1 inch, but it's not continuous. So an ADA rail, you need to have a round, continuous, graspable handrail.
And what makes like your signature aluminum railing not continuous?
It's those balusters coming up.
Okay,
so it's not continuous. Yeah.
Okay,
so it needs to be continuous. That's And really, what people have done is just do a temporary one, and then get the final sign off, and then they'll kind of rip it down. But that's no longer accepted out there. I mean, they're really, they're really looking at that rail and want to do it. So really, the contractors out there today are putting them on every railing surface, and it needs to be on one side and follow the codes for that.
Well, another great tip. Yeah, something you don't always think about.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you, sir. Another good segment. Appreciate it.
You got it.